Got him on screen. Excellent. How's it going,
Hello,
man?
hello.
Things are good. Yeah, tell us about yourself. What do you happen to do on this happy team of ours?
So I'm a product manager on Project Firefly. And so as a part of that, I try and make Project Firefly better. I understand, like, try and understand what our customers and developers want from us. The regular connect really well to what my fellow developers are going through when they use a tooling. So one of the things that I really want to talk about is CI/CD, because we internally at Adobe use a ton of CI/CD everywhere. We don't so we standardize those processes, and I know how important it is to create those production grade applications. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, that is amazing. You have lived the pain of being a developer, and so I think that brings a great point of view and a perspective to then driving product management. So I think that is awesome, and it's great that you've made that transition. And yeah, it's awesome that you're on the team. If I haven't told you that
Yeah.
before, I don't know if I have, but
We should meet sometime else, Ron, and we should discuss all about it.
yes, exactly, exactly. So today you're going to talk to us about CI/CD and
Yes.
what that is.
Okay, so CI/CD is continuous integration and continuous delivery. So essentially, it is about standardizing a process where, as a developer, you're writing this code.
I don't know, slow stuttering or it stopping and starting. Hopefully, I can sort that out here pretty quickly. But let me jump over into. You're going to share your screen and go through your presentation.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Shall
do
I
that.
start sharing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
It's all you.
perfect. So as we talked about Project Firefly CI/CD, that's the topic today. This whole session is mostly going to be demos, but I'm gonna preface that with a very brief Project Firefly introduction. For those of you folks on the call who are not familiar with Project Firefly as much, somebody in the team should be just pasting a link right now to the introduction to Firefly webinar that we have hosted multiple times, and you should go and take a look after this call. I'm going to do a very brief intro about Project Firefly and then jump straight into the out-of-the-box CI/CD that comes with it. And then I'm also going to set up custom CI/CD on Jenkins, which is the tool that we use internally at Adobe for many things involving CI/CD. And then we'll finally close off with question and answers. So keep them coming. You don't have to really wait till the end. If you have a question, put in the YouTube comments and we'll get to it. So without further ado, what is Project Firefly? I hope most of you on the call already know about this. So Project Firefly is a complete design, application, and runtime framework for building third-party one of our solutions or more than one of our solutions. They often can implement things that implement their use case, implement their websites or stuff like that with the out-of-the-box functionality that comes within. So yeah, definitely. So basically, I just, folks, you didn't miss a lot because it was just a Project Firefly introduction. You can always go and check out our webinar. The two things that I want to focus on today uh, is based on our guiding principles. So one, we'll talk about the out-of-the-box CI/CD that comes with Project Firefly. So we'll talk about the GitHub actions and secrets-based CI/CD that you can simply generate and use it in your project. But of course, not all of enterprises or not all customers of ours can use that GitHub-based CI/CD. They have their own version control system, or maybe they have their own CI/CD tooling of choice. So we're also going to talk about a custom setup of CI/CD in Jenkins. So what we're going to touch upon is the two principles that we have with Project Firefly out of the three. So one, everything that you need is in the box. So to create production-grade applications, you need CI/CD for deployment and such, and we have that in the box. But if you do not or if you have a preference otherwise, then Project Firefly itself is extendable. You can swap out the components at will, and that is what we'll touch upon in the CI/CD we'll set up in Jenkins. So let's get into it. Ron, just keep telling me I'm still there because I'm now
Oh yeah,
afraid.
no, you're good. You're all good. So just
Okay,
keep going.
perfect. Great. So the first step of a developer is basically coming onto the developer console and logging in. So I'm not gonna perform the logging in step, definitely, but and then go to projects and create a new project from template and use the project Firefly template. However, I have, for the purpose of a demo, set up a project already. So we're just going to use that. It has nothing. It's just the bare bones project that is created. It's literally the same thing. The only reason I've done that is because I need the environment secrets beforehand so that I don't have to show them on screen today while dealing with CI/CD. Okay, so I'm still here. Perfect. So yeah, so let's get into it. So this is my project name. What I'm gonna do is I've set up this project in the developer console. Usually you would be adding a ton of services or whatever you need essentially. However, today I'm just gonna keep it to the bare minimum and just focus on the CI/CD part of it. So once this is set up, I'm gonna head over to a project directory I've created. Right now, there is nothing in here. I'm gonna quickly run AIO app in it. So this will ask me which project and which workspace and which organization I want to work with. So I tell it I want to do this in the Adobe IO Dev organization. I have a project which is named Firefly Office Hours. And then let's right now work with the staging workspace. Okay, so what is happening behind the scenes, it's fetching all the details from the project that you saw on the console. And now it has fetched all those details asking me which things do I want to generate beforehand. So I'm going to generate an action, some static web assets so that this demo can be a bit visual, and then the CI/CD itself. However, if you already have an application that you did not select CI/CD at first, you can always go in and run a command, which is AIO app add CI, and that would just do the same thing. You don't really have to go AIO app in it again. So again, keeping it bare bones, I'm generating a very generic runtime action. We don't really care about what it's doing. We just want something. And then a React Spectrum web asset. How do I like to name this? Generic is fine. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's wait a bit. So this is live demo, folks. If anything, not everything, hopefully, if anything goes wrong, just stay with me and we'll try and sort it out. I am hoping that I can use my developer skills here today, or not. I'm hoping I'm not. Okay. Just a quick check if I'm still there. I am. So
Yeah,
while this
I'll
happens,
pipe in. I'll pipe in if you lose, if we lose you on Slack. So all good.
okay. So while we're waiting for all of this to set up, uh, let's just open the project directory and structure. And then what we do is we check out these different files. So because I selected CI, that I want to have CI/CD in this project, we have these 3 different files, which is GitHub workflows that use a bunch of GitHub actions to perform the CI/CD. Let's review the PR test one, which is it's going to be simplistic. So what it says is on every pull request that happens, run this job. So the name of the job is test PR, and we want to run on different OSs. I'm just going to keep Ubuntu here. Yeah, and then we have a bunch of steps. So it would then check out your code, use Node.js, run npm install, and then it would get AIO CLI in that environment. So this is all going to be happening within GitHub Actions. Once we have AIO CLI, we'll set up the environment variables. So I'll show you how you can do this, but I've done this beforehand so that I don't have to really show my keys on this live stream. And then what we'll the last step is essentially running our unit tests that are in there. So we'll run the test command. So let's see if the terminal is done. Yes. So this is ready. What I'm gonna do first of all is I'm gonna push this code out. into a Git repo. So for that, I need to initialize a Git repository. If you check, so there's a git ignore file, and do not include your .env. So we have already ignored it beforehand. So the .env file is supposed to contain all your secrets. You do not want to check that in. That file should go into your secrets repository, wherever that is. For the purpose of our demo today, we'll use GitHub secrets. So just going back, so we have an empty repository. We're gonna check, okay, what's the status? So there's nothing actually checked in yet. I'm gonna add everything, commit, do an initial commit, and I'm gonna push this. So before I can push this, I need a remote repository on GitHub. So let's actually get to that. So here, what I have is a private repository that I've set up beforehand. It is a bare bones repository. There's nothing in it yet. I'm gonna select the SSH path to actually add this remote repository, and then I'm gonna push to it. If you need help setting up SSH keys, that is easily done. Like there's a bunch of tutorials available on GitHub. So I've already set that up, set that SSH key beforehand. So this will all work. So I'm just gonna do git remote add origin, and I'll paste the thing I copied. And then let me check. Okay, so all good. Now I can simply say, okay, I have one commit, but I've pushed nothing. So I'm gonna push my local master to the remote repositories master. So the remote repository is represented by origin. That's just gonna happen, and we'll perfect. Then the next thing that I wanna do is, okay, so right now we have two files, the .aio file and the .env file, which are both workspace specific. To set up a CI/CD pipeline, you would realize that you need not only the staging workspace specific files, but you also need the production workspace specific files for an entire pipeline. So what we do is we'll make minor adjustments to the project as we go. And so just follow along, and please ask a question in the comments if you have one. And Ron, please just read it out to me if you can.
Will do.
Okay, let's do this. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy my .aio file to a .aio-stage file. So just so I know, this is a stage file. I'm not gonna do anything with the .env. I'm gonna leave it as is. Now I wanna switch to my production workspace and get the details from that. I don't really need to visit the .env file, but at this moment I can do another thing, which is open that with my .env file and go in. So by the way, I've pushed this code, so I'm just gonna refresh. So you will see all this code. However, what we're interested in is the GitHub secrets. So I'm gonna head over to settings, secrets, and you would see these 4 secrets are already there, which I put in there ahead of time. However, if I were not on live stream right now, I would be populating these 2 values, AIO runtime auth stage and AIO runtime namespace stage. So this is the namespace name, and this is the API key associated with that namespace. And both of these values are available in the .env file. I just don't want to show it to you guys. All right, so coming back, so I've done that for stage. My entire stage setup is complete. Now I'm gonna switch to the production workspace. So I'm gonna run this command AIO app use. It tells me where I am right now, and I can just select the option to switch to another workspace in the current project. It will see which workspaces are there. So the only other workspace is production. I'm gonna select that, and it's gonna do its magic, get all the details. And once it's ready, it's gonna ask me 2 questions. So the 2 workspace specific files, .env and .aio, it'll ask me what I wanna do with them, because we already have those 2 files in the project directory. So for now, I'm gonna just overwrite both those files. So because we have the whatever we need from the .env file, we have captured that, and whatever I need from the .aio file, I've already copied into a separate .aio stage file. Okay, so I'm gonna override the .env, and then also override the .aio. And so right now I'm in my production workspace. What I'm gonna do is copy the .aio file to .aio production, and then again, use the secrets in the .env file to set up the production values for the runtime namespace name and the API key, which is runtime auth, right? So once that is done, now just gonna check what is the difference here. So we have these two new files. The .env file is get ignored, so it's not showing up. And the .aio file has been modified. So what I'm gonna do in this next commit is I'm gonna remove the .aio file. So we have, I'm just gonna add everything and I'm committing that. All right, so I removed the .aio and I created stage and production specific. The smallest problem that we have right now is the tooling, as we saw here, that the workflow expects .aio file. It's not absolutely visible right here, but it really expects that. So essentially, when this workflow is supposed to run, we need to have the .aio file in place. And how we can do that? So I have something already ready. So I'm just gonna, when this code runs, I'm gonna add a step which copies the stage file in the stage workflow to the .aio, and in the production one, it would copy the .aio production to .aio. So let me copy over these. Okay, so I'm gonna, so .github, oops, workflow PR test. So I've overwritten something. Similarly, I can actually do star, right? Let me try that. This is totally off script, guys. Okay, so let's see what we have here and just do a quick check. So, okay, we have modified 3 files and I'm gonna do a quick diff. So what you see in all of these is the copy file here. So we are essentially for the production job. So this is deploy prod. We are copying AIO production to .aio. For the deploy to stage, we are copying .aio stage to .aio. And for PR test, we are again using the stage one. So we are copying AIO stage to .aio. So this all looks good to me. Oops, can never figure this out. Ugh. There we go. So I'm gonna add all of this and I'm gonna push this. Adapting the workflows, and we're just gonna push this out. So once this is done, everything's set up. Now, what I wanna talk about quickly is AIO app deploy. So let me switch back to the stage workflow. Okay, maybe what we can do is I'm just gonna copy over. So I removed the AIO file. Just bear with me for a second. I'm gonna switch back to staging, and because we'll make a change, like we'll deploy staging, and then we'll make a change and have that change be deployed to the CI/CD. So let's quickly jump back to staging here. Ron, do you see any questions yet?
Nope, you're good.
Okay,
just
so we have
all
this.
Of this.
so now we have stage, and I'm gonna just do a quick AIO app deploy. So what does AIO app deploy does? It does a bunch of things. So you have runtime actions that are gonna be hosted on Adobe runtime. So you have to build them and then deploy them. And similarly, you have static web assets for if your Firefly application has a UI, you don't necessarily need one for all Firefly applications. But if you have a UI, then it's gonna build those and then again deploy those static web assets to the CDN, which again comes out of the box. So we are just gonna wait quickly on the web assets, and then it's gonna show me a bunch of links, which I'm gonna visit so we can see our application. We're not gonna do much over there. We're just gonna make a quick change. So meanwhile, I'm gonna jump to the actions tab here. I would see one workflow run here. Ignore that. I will explain in a second why that happens. So just gonna copy this, head over to my Chrome, and visit my application that is on stage. So I don't like this name 436 Salmon Swordfish, and that's what I'm gonna change here, and I'm gonna deploy this with my CI/CD. So I'm gonna head over to web src components. I know where this code is coming from, so I'm just gonna say welcome to the jungle, man. So just give me, I need to press edit first. So welcome to the jungle. Yeah, my commit messages are horrible. Like, that's why they kicked me off the development team. I'm just gonna propose changes and create this pull request. So now what's gonna happen is this new pull request is created, and we have a GitHub workflow associated with it. So it's already queued that check. So it's gonna, let's head over there and see what's happening behind the scenes. I hope I don't run out of time. So it's quickly doing all of this. It's setting up my job using Node.js. It's gonna do npm install. This step takes a second. It's gonna set up the CI/CD, build, test, and whatnot. So yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to say, so there's no questions, but so with this much, power, I'm sure comes some responsibility. Can with this automation, if you do something wrong, like what are the checks that are available that make sure that it doesn't blow up, or that yeah, like are there inbuilt checks that save you from disaster?
So the inbuilt checks, so this is really a harmless one.
Yeah.
This one is essentially, as soon as you create a PR, your code is being tested. Of course, the regular hygiene that goes into creating a project directory. Like, of course, if this GitHub repository is accessible to the world and everyone can just issue a PR and start running this, you don't necessarily want to do that. But if it's in your private one, or you have the appropriate access controls, then it's fine. Like, you can run this on every PR. Again, once I'm going to merge this, the stage is going to be deployed. So you never merge directly into master. You'll have PR reviews, so you can add more such checks, especially in the Git enterprise deployment we have within Adobe. We have all of those. Like, we have set up checks like this cannot be merged in without another reviewer approving these changes. And I think that's the case for most production grade projects out there. So you can definitely set those up, but the bare minimum is this. You create a PR, this check's gonna run, then we're gonna merge it, and it's gonna be deployed all the way to stage.
Right on. Cool.
I'm gonna quickly check one thing so that I can make sure that I didn't mess that up. Stage, deploy stage. Perfect. So what I'm checking essentially is the branches that I have. So I'm including both main and master. I could have done this demo with main branch as well. I would have liked that, but I was facing some hiccups. So I'm just keeping it with master, but I'm totally behind making this work with the main branch as well. They're just, yeah. We want to move away from a world where we don't use terms like which have such connotations. So anywho, coming back, so the PR, all the steps passed, and I'm heading back over the conversations. It says everything's passed. I'm just gonna go ahead and merge this pull request. And once I do that, I'm gonna head over to the actions tab and see what's happening or what's brewing in those actions. And we already see, so this jungle one was the one I created with the PR. So this action ran and verified my PR. But then for the one that is running right now, which is essentially gonna deploy this to stage. So this is my staging. I'm gonna do a hard refresh, no caches. It's showing me this. But ultimately, if this succeeds, then we should be seeing we should be seeing welcome to the jungle instead of this random message here. So let's head over to the details where the job is at. Again, it's going to do a few things. It's going to build the code. It's going to deploy it. The same steps that we did. We ran AIO app deploy, which built the actions, which built the static web assets, and then deployed it. That's just going to happen through GitHub Actions at this moment. Okay, so we have the npm install is done. We are setting up the CLI. Then we'll build the whole thing and then deploy it, and that should be soon enough. And the next step. So while we're waiting on this, so what is the process for releasing the application to production? You are set it up for stage, and if we are mapping stage to a master, so how do we actually deploy things to production using this out-of-the-box CI/CD? So that is going to be by creating releases. Releases are something that GitHub offers. So if I go to my code here, I'm going to create a new release. So let's do that in a second. But then once we create a new release, again, these actions would run and deploy everything to production. So, ooh la la, let's give it a second. Meanwhile, let me set up my release so that I can save on some time. So I'm going to just say this is my 0.1.0 for first release. Okay, and I don't want to click publish release as yet. I just want to make sure that you guys can see the stage deploy. So it's deploying right away. It says it's deployed. So let's refresh this. And it's boom. It says welcome to jungle. Oh, I missed a duh, man.
It's okay.
Welcome.
I should have
hate
mentioned it,
myself.
but it's all good. All good.
No. Can we start over?
It's just fine.
So I just yeah. I just clicked the publish release button, and I'm gonna head over to the actions again. So again, this is gonna run. It's gonna set this up in production, and we'll have a production URL that's deployed with the code that we have in the master. So we can wait for this to happen. Meanwhile, I want to talk quickly about Jenkins. Or shall we take a second's break while I drink some water as well?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We can definitely take a break. And yeah, you're welcome to drink water on camera if you'd like. It's not a problem. People have to have water, otherwise we're not people.
Okay, that's one of the defining qualities of people.
Exactly, water.
Great. So again, this is doing the same steps that we did in staging, but this is against the production environment. It's using the secrets that are against production. I should also show you, I don't know, it's a good time, the deploy to stage or deploy to production. While we're doing production, you can just see the deploy prod. Again, it's just a few steps. So this is happening on release. This is the first step is check out the code. Then the copy file step that we just added, use the Node.js version, run npm install to get all the dependencies that we need. We then again set up the CLI. The AIO CLI is at the heart of this. Everything like what you're deploying through is the AIO app deploy command. So the CLI is literally at the heart of this. Then we build it. We pass it the secret, the production secret in the build, and then we deploy it, and then we pass it both the production secret and the namespace name. And that's it. That should do it. Okay. So while this builds, I'm not even sure we'll get a URL here. I forgot. Let's see. Guys, I'm just whiling away time. You know that.
All good.
I don't want to move to Jenkins before this is complete because it's just, yeah, it's a clean. Okay, so we won't have the URL. Maybe I can guess it. Huh. Okay.
Now we're really going off script. This is awesome.
Okay, so the production job is complete. It's successfully deployed. I just don't know the URL yet. So let's this is stage. I think that should be it.
Yep, totally.
There you go. That's production. So welcome to jungle. That's my thing now. I'm owning it. And then I'm just gonna do a welcome to machine, but I'm gonna deploy that through Jenkins. So, okay, this is one kind of workflow where you are using GitHub so much, but then you can, even in Jenkins, I am gonna integrate against GitHub, but you're again welcome to bring a version control system of your choice. You just need to understand how to work against it. So in the Jenkins demo, uh, I'm gonna be using GitHub, but then I'm not gonna be doing this, merge to master that deploys. I'm gonna be doing something slightly different. I'll have a different branch, which is a stage branch, and I'm gonna deploy to stage for anything that is committed onto that branch. So we have a similar test PR build. It does not scan for pull requests yet. So that is something that I couldn't figure out the plugins yet. So guys, I'm a PM now, so I'm just kidding. Like, it is something that needs to be done, but the plugin wasn't working for me correctly. So, however, what code really goes in? So we have, okay, so this is the try run URL. I'm just gonna make sure. So this is against the Office RS47. This is the master branch. What is essentially happening in this, instead of the steps we had in GitHub Actions, we have a bash script here. So what the bash script is doing is, first of all, what we have set up is the environment file that we had. We copied that environment file and set it as a credential in Jenkins. So let me show you how you can do that. You can go into Manage Jenkins. There is Manage Credentials, and these are the credentials that I have on the system. So the SSH key I was mentioning about earlier, I have also added that SSH key to my Jenkins machine so that it can access Git. Then I have a bunch of other secrets, which is this text secrets. So you see the environment stage file, the environment prod file, the auth stage, which is the API key against the namespace, the auth prod against the production namespace. And then I have a dry run because I was testing all of this workflow out before the live stream. So what we have here is we have the file contents in environment stage, and I'm using that credential. I don't necessarily have to add one now, but if I did, I would just go here, add Jenkins, and it would create this whole wizard where I can add my credential. And what essentially I'm doing in the bash script is taking the environment file contents that I have in this variable now and actually creating the .env file on the system, on the project directory. I should mention before this, it's already synced the code from my GitHub repository, whatever is in the master branch. So basically I have the bare bones structure. Of course, I don't have the .env file because that is not committed to GitHub. So I'm going to create that file. Then I'm going to copy over AIO stage to .aio. If you remember, even in the PR test workflow we had on GitHub, we were using stage credentials. So that's what I'm using here. So npm I is essentially npm install. I'm going to install all the dependencies. And then npm test would essentially run the unit test. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to build. I hope I didn't mess up the credentials, but let's see. So while this is running, in the interest of time, let me also head back and discuss the stage one. Okay, so.
Hey, real quick,
Mhm.
Manik. One of the questions was, so this is awesome. Is there any documentation link for the steps that you're showing,
There
or
definitely
yeah?
there definitely is. However, it might be a bit wonky. So if you can follow along the live stream, this will be recorded as well. And I do hope to update the documentation soon enough so that it's also in a text form. It's available in a text form. So
Okay.
I'll keep you guys posted. But if someone can paste the CI/CD link, the documentation link to the CI/CD, that'd be great.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. So this is my staging one. So I'm going to deploy to stage. I have I specified a stage branch. I have not created a stage branch yet, so I'm just gonna do that. And then again, the environment file context is environment stage. AI runtime auth is the API key for the namespace name. And this is the setup. My code from the stage branch would be synced in the project directory created. And then what I do is, again, copy the environment file contents into a .env file, copy the stage, AIO stage. If you're doing it for prod, you just have to use the prod env file and copy AIO-prod. Then I'm going to install on the dependencies. I'm going to export the AIO runtime namespace name, which is not essentially a secret, so you can show that on plain screen. And then I'm going to run AIO deploy. So let's head back to our PR test and see if something's up. So it's already run. It's been successful. And it says, maybe that's just too small for my viewers. So it says test suite. Like we have the two tests that come out of the box, and you should extend those test suite. So all of the 2 out of 2 passed. So that's great to hear. Now let's head back to deploy stage. But before that, I have to create a stage branch. So I'm gonna remove.
Hey, Manik,
.aio.
while you're doing this, I just want to chime in and mention, Dave brought up the good point that we've got about 10 minutes left in the live stream as it's scheduled, but since we had the bumpy start, by all means, we'll go on beyond that if we need to, and then we can just trim the recording so that it just has this section. So don't cut off anything, because I think it's important that we capture this and get it recorded.
Perfect. So what I just did is I just ran git checkout, create a new branch which is called stage, and I pushed that new branch to stage, and it has the same code that is in the master. So if I'm gonna see the web src components home.js, it's gonna say, oh, I actually haven't pulled my changes that I made. So let me go back to master, and I'm just gonna pull. So you remember I created a PR right on the UI on the website. So I just want to get those changes in. I'm gonna go back to stage, and I'm gonna merge my master in here. So this also has the changes, and now I'm gonna check if this has the welcome to jungle. Ron, I have a serious question. Do you wanna do welcome to the machine, or do you want to correct welcome to the jungle? Like, what's your opinion?
If you want to correct your typo, that is completely fine with me. It's up to you. But the welcome to the machine, I think, is an apt follow to the welcome to the jungle. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, man. Like, what if one part of the demo didn't work, right? We can just ignore the and yeah, we'll be good.
And move on. Yes, we've acknowledged it, and we can just move on.
Yes. So I'm doing an AIO app deploy again, but I really didn't have to, because I just realized this is the same repository. So welcome to jungle would already be up there on the URL. So we can actually just this is the production one. I'm going to close it. For the stage one, I'm going to do a hard refresh. We'll continue to see welcome to jungle. It's not going to be different even if this is deployed. And now I'm going to make my change. And then, so welcome to the machine. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to oops, I messed up. So right now my stage branch on my local is linked to my stage on remote. So this is gonna push this change to the remote branch. However, this is not gonna trigger a deploy, because the actions, if you remember the GitHub actions that you have here, they are set to run only on changes committed to the main or the master branch. So we have deploy stage, but it only runs on main or master. So anything on stage would not cause an action to run, and we can verify that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Jenkins setup to deploy this. And folks, this is the only part that I'm feeling a bit nervous about, because this crashed for me 8 out of 9 times that I tried this earlier. It's my local Jenkins setup. It's running on Docker. So and that machine crashes. So let's hope, let's pray. Okay, so I have this stage 1 here, and I'm just gonna trigger. You can also set up a GitHub trigger to poll your GitHub, or even just a webhook that can run a job whenever there are any changes made to the branch that you're working against. So I'm gonna go head back to my dashboard. Just wanna quickly make sure that everything is pristine and looking good over here. So we have the right repository, I have the right credentials, the right branch. So we can skip delete workspace right now. So environment file contents, environment stage, perfect, perfect. All right, let's do this. So I'm just gonna build this, and we'll talk. So Ron, this is gonna take like a minute. I'm being shy. It's gonna take more than a minute.
So 10 minutes
if there are any
later, we're going to be
questions,
sitting here waiting for this, yes, to finish.
yes.
Awesome. That's great.
Okay, so if there are any questions, I think that's a great time to answer those.
Actually, I mean, so here, let me throw this up here while this is going. Poolkit had a question around. Let me move this over. Is there any way you can enforce reviews before the CI/CD pipeline triggers a deploy? And this actually been answered by Sarah. I just wanted to throw that up there. And it says we use Code Cove to run automatic checks when new PRs are generated. You can set that up on the repo. And that's not something that you've covered today, correct?
Yes. Sorry, I put myself on mute because I'm in New Delhi. It's almost 40 degrees Celsius, or maybe 35 or 30. I don't know, but it's really hot. So I turned on my air conditioning. If you hear the buzz, that's me, guys.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay, so air conditioning was great. I feel refreshed. So this is what is happening right now. It's installing all the Node.js, all the npm packages. So those have been installed, and right now the next step's gonna take place, which is the most critical one, which is AI app deploy, if I remember it right.
So while you're doing this, we do have, and I understand we've got the code lab. Sarah shared that for setting up CI/CD. Although there's nothing that covers Jenkins yet, so this is all brand new, and hopefully we'll get some updates to that. Nishant is wondering if there's any suggestions on implementing this with Bitbucket. And I know there's a number of tools that people can leverage.
Yes.
Do we have any plans to cover that in like a future series or in a doc?
Yeah, I mean, so Nishant, I think the best way to approach this, there's gonna be tens and hundreds of different version controls and tens and hundreds of CI/CD systems that are being used, and everyone has a preference. So if it is not covered in the official documentation, I use Jenkins because it's the tool I'm most familiar with. So it is my preference. So if you're working against something that is not out of the box, of course, you'll have to spend a few more cycles figuring that out. But always, Experience League forums for Project Firefly are a great place to reach out for any help. We have team across the globe that is answering those questions, and you'll usually receive a reply within a few hours, if not less than a day.
All right, thanks.
So let's see. Hopefully we'll have something. Any other questions that you guys have? Maybe.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Sarah replied to Nishant as well about you know, you could take CLI and the GitHub Actions and reinvent them on Bitbucket as an option.
Yeah. So guys, I talked about this step failing 8 out of 9 times for me because it's a local setup. So it again failed in the exact spot I knew it would. So what I'm just gonna do is do a AIR deploy because I really want to see welcome to the machine. But essentially, this is gonna be happening within your CI/CD system. So it's the same step. There is nothing different. You follow the exact same process, and it would work. Like you can just reach out to me if it doesn't.
Yeah,
In
if you're
experience
not
with
on if you're
forums.
not on Manik's system, then it'll work fine. That's it, yeah. It's that Docker
Exactly.
that Docker
It does
container
not
that you're
work on
running
my
it on.
machine.
And if it doesn't
Yeah.
work, you should suspect it's running on Manik's Docker instance.
Oh, does that mean that one out of the 9 times it failed for someone else?
Yes, exactly.
I wonder. Okay, so let's see this, and hopefully, there we go. Welcome to the
Hey,
machine. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. And
that is awesome.
we are on time.
Yeah, we're kind of on time. Here we're gonna. I brought Dave in.
You threw me in the mix here. So
Yes, threw you to the lion's den. All good.
yes.
Um. Anyway, so yeah, I know that. Oh, there we go. Sarah posted the link. So, anyways, I think that was great. And as we talked about the things that we don't, we don't have documentation on Jenkins on our CI/CD documentation page, but we can certainly add. We could add a link to this on there, and then work on potentially some documentation there. And it is super popular, right? Jenkins. It's one that I've heard of and know about.
Manic. Yeah, I wrote down some notes too on some of the gaps, like possibly doing an example for GitHub. Since we include GitHub in the packaging, why wouldn't we do something that includes how to deploy on merge or pull request approval and stuff? Those would be good videos for the future, or possibly some documentation.
Yeah, that's actually great. And actually, if anyone's still watching, I don't know if anyone is, but if anyone's still watching, by all means, give us feedback on what videos you would be interested to see in the future. We're always looking for essentially making these useful for you guys. So yeah, if there's topics that we haven't covered yet, or you're like, hey, I'd like to see something, let us know. That would be super awesome. All right.
All right, this was fun.
Well, thank you. This was good.
Yeah, there's only a small dumpster fire at the beginning. That was great. That was okay. We recovered brilliantly.
Yes,
Fiber beats
Wi-Fi
every time.
Absolutely, man. Always got to make sure I'm on fiber. Apologies for that. And yes, we will get this right. The next stream.
I was sitting there
flawless.
at the beginning thinking it was just me buffering. I kept pinging people. Are you buffering too?
Yeah. Oh, ugly.
Smooth sailing.
I thought
after
Slack
that,
was just being awfully
Manic
chatty,
killed it.
and I was like, I came back to Switch, and I was like, oh, I'm not even connected anymore. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
was
was
trying
fun.
to figure out how to
That was
get
really
through
cool
to
stuff.
you to tell you to stop talking. I was like, I'm sure he
Yeah.
turned off every device.
Yeah, exactly. Turned off
Every
all
IM
notifications.
messaging. I'm trying to call you on the phone to tell you, because I'm sure you were just rolling through your talk.
Oh, did you call me? I actually got a call.
Dude, that is hilarious. Okay, we're
Nice.
gonna have to have some safeguards in for these future sessions where we have the presenter. We have like a bat phone or something that rings. and
Yeah,
we're like, oh,
sat
wait,
phone.
Is it
Call
not
the
working?
sat phone. Everybody can call the sat phone or something. But it did present a
Awesome.
problem when we were trying, because when you get into that mindset of I got to do this demo, you're going through
Right.
it, you're talking through your talk track, you kind of go into autopilot a little bit, and yeah, it's hard to get you out of autopilot.
Yeah, totally.
It was a
righty.
good talk. I found it pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to give it a whirl. I haven't played with the CI/CD GitHub integration yet, so I'm gonna go try it out immediately.
Very cool.
Yay.
All right. Well, thanks.
Maybe I
Matt.
can blow something up.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Go ahead, Dave.
And if it fails, do I have it send a message to? Was it supposed to email Manik? Do I put an extra action in there? Is that what the rule was?
Experience League forums.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna respond on Experience League forums solely. No CI/CD questions on my personal email, please. Yeah, just kidding. But yeah, Experience League forums all the way.
Excellent. Yeah, you get the most coverage by setting your comments there. So,
yeah.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome Wednesday. And from here on out, it will be smooth sailing. I am almost certain of it.
Where's the fun in that?
Totally.
No excitement.
All right. Stay cool, Manik. Turn that air conditioner back on. See ya.
Cheers.